Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear.
Ooh.
Long story.
Are you sure you're ready?
I'm totally ready, Kathleen McGee.
Can I hear from the single ladies? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm so single. Remember that Patrice line?
Oh my God, that's probably one of the highlights of my comedy life is
That's
when
the
Patrice O'Neal
best.
came to the comic strip and we got to go
Yeah.
5 days in a row and watch this man.
Well, the show was Daryl Mack emceeing.
Oh my God, yes, and he made so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Daryl Mack emceeing, me middling, and Patrice headlining.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
It was the greatest, I think my favorite memory of comedy ever. And not a lot of people were there because, I mean, he was still very unknown in Canada, but like,
Yeah.
oh my, he was just a different show every night. But that's the thing that made me laugh so hard is he came out and he just went out. He's like, he just started the show with like, where's all the ladies at? And then they were all like, woo! And he's like, where's all the single ladies at? And they're like, woo! He's like, where's all the single ladies over 30? And there was like a few, woo! And then then he said, it's your fault.
Yeah. Just like this ominous
Oh
sort
my
of
God.
like, it's you.
Oh, it was so funny. And as a 30-year-old woman over 30 now, I appreciate that line even fucking more because I know it. But some women don't want to admit that.
I wonder how he would do like now in 2019.
Everybody does. Everybody wonders what the comedy world would have been like if Patrice O'Neal was still here. I hope that he would still be speaking his fucking mind.
But there would still be a huge percentage of the comedy population that would be like, he's garbage, he's irrelevant.
I know. That's what's sad.
So, but maybe he would have evolved. Maybe he would have been like, yeah, girls ain't so bad. You know what's really stupid? Pudding.
Yeah, you just become this super.
Patrice turns into Bill Cosby. Thank God he died before he could turn into the shiz shaz.
Oh my God, yes.
Patrice is just like, fuck it, I need some money. Here we go. No, he wouldn't have done that.
Wouldn't have sold out.
No. So how was your weekend? Where did you do shows?
I did shows in Lethbridge. I rented a car, and I got to tell you, it was a sensible car.
Sensible.
It was a Nissan Rogue, which is the one I was talking about earlier that I wanted.
Oh, yeah, those are nice.
And the best part about it, it was brand new. So it's 3,000 kilometers on it. It feels nice.
Yeah. Did you have an unlimited kilometers guarantee?
Yeah. I don't ever not have unlimited kilometers.
I don't want to be thinking about kilometers.
Me neither.
That's the last thing I need on my mind.
Who's like that cocky when they rent a car? They're like, no, I'm not going over 500K.
We're good.
500
And then all of a sudden,
not
a family emergency in Jasper happens, and they're just like adding up all the kilometers.
$15,000 at the end of it.
Oh my God.
No.
Well, but Lethbridge is okay. Lethbridge is fun.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Lethbridge. Let me finish about this car.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, I got too high on the balcony.
No, you didn't get too high. You got the right amount of high.
I'm having trouble talking, but so this thing had this. I don't remember what it was called, but it had cruise control. But the cruise control could sense when a car was in front of you, and even if you set cruise to 120, it would slow down.
I love those.
So that you just all I did was steer to Lethbridge. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love it.
I have no problem with cars taking over. That was so much fun.
No. I mean,
I felt like I was on mushrooms a bit because like I didn't know how much control I really truly actually had.
Well, sometimes I'd get freaked out on those things because I'd be driving and then all of a sudden I'd realize like I think I've been going 80 kilometers an hour for the last half an hour, but I didn't slow down, so I felt like here we go, still going 120, and then all of a sudden I'm like, how long have I been going 60 behind a giant truck? And then as soon as you change lanes, you go back to 120,
and it's like you're on a roller coaster. It's like,
yeah,
it's so much fun.
No. I know a lady who's like, she's working on like automated vehicles and stuff. And she said a lot of people are against it and like, oh, they're dangerous, whatever. She's like, as soon as she's like the first time, like we're 5 years away from being in a position where you could get past Leduc.
Yeah.
Like, you could get to Leduc, press a button, and then not have to worry about your vehicle again until you got to like Calgary.
Yeah.
And she's like, as soon as that happens, people are going to be like, I love automobiles.
Oh, yeah. People are
it.
so scared of them now until the first time that they can, like, play Candy Crush all the way to Calgary. And then they'll be like, oh, the robots are great. The robots are amazing.
Could you be drunk in it?
I mean, I'm sure they'll make some sort of legislation, but if we get in there quick enough, we could try it out. You know, because, like, you can always do something sneaky as soon as a new law is passed because you're like, well, that's not really.
They never said anything about drunk.
And then they close the thing because that was about cell phones, right? Like you used to be able to just text and smash into.
Right. You're right.
Yeah,
there was a brief period
law.
of time, like, and you could text and drive when texting was a fucking nightmare.
On all the T9, you would T9 and drive. You T9 and drive. This is what it's like to be.
This is what it's about.
This back in the day when you had to T9 and drive. It was
to like press 7 4 times to get an M out of it.
Yeah. My best friend Jana, who you do know, she could like T9 without looking. She was such a texter.
Yeah?
Oh, when anyone texted her, she would go, "Oh, I've got bites."
I've got nibbles. I've got bites.
She'd be like, "Oh, I've got bites."
I got a nibble on the. Oh man!
But she could do it like she could be talking to you, and then she'd be like sending a message, like some.
That's crazy that people could do that.
She was she's a talented lady. She still is.
Oh my God, she could do that. But yeah, so you could T9 and drive legally.
T9 and drive.
And now we have like voice to text, and we still can't do it.
No.
You know, like it's so much easier.
Well, can you do the "Hey Siri" and then can you text so and so? I did that with you once when you were getting weird responses from me because I was dictating.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I
was like the whole time I was doing that, I'm like, why don't I just call him? This is weird.
I still am a phone talker. Like I still like talking on the phone sometimes.
While.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't answer anything at all ever if I don't know it.
Oh,
like
yeah,
if I don't know it, forget it. That's no.
Never.
I had a door-to-door person. Are they allowed to come back door-to-door now that Kenny won? Is that like a shitty byproduct of Kenny winning?
I don't know, but you can drink in provincial parks now, so.
Yeah, because he ended the war on fun, Kathleen.
Yo, that's right.
That's right. You know Jason Kenny's all about fun. You've seen him in his suit. Can you imagine him having fun? Like just Jason Kenny unwinding and it
I can imagine him being that weirdo that gets drunk in a corner and comes up to girls and like,
yeah, and he's just always looking at his own daughter's ass but doesn't say anything about it. Yeah, one of those fucking freaks.
He's not greasy. He's greasy.
Yeah. He's the kind of he goes camping and showers every day. You know what I mean? He's that level of piece of shit. Oh, he's the person that
showers after he shits.
Excuse me, I have to go shower. Like Jason, it's day 2 of camping. Oh, I'd like to get cleaned up, please.
Get some of this lake water off my balls.
But he doesn't take his kids. No, you guys stay here and stay dirty. Your dad needs to get cleaned. I'm a politician.
I need to wash the sins away.
The war on fun is over.
The war on fun, yeah. I mean, it's cool that you can drink. Like, I mean, I think people always did.
I don't think anybody stopped. No.
There were people that were. I was fighting the good fight. I was
fighting.
I was fighting against the war on fun. I was fighting for fun.
I did like a.
And my right to party.
Did you ever think about being a nurse?
No.
No.
Oh God, no. No. I.
No.
I don't even know how people are nurses. I commend anyone that's a nurse because it's. The vomit alone is enough to keep me out of it. Like I was at work at my restaurant job because I have to have one, and it's okay. I love it.
You love it.
It's so fun. But I was at work and I went on my break, and then I come up to the other girl. She goes, "I just cleaned up a bucket of kid puke. A kid came in and puked everywhere." And I literally was like, I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't on my break. I would have run out of the restaurant and run home. I would have been like, I'm not here
cleaning
to clean
up the
puke.
vomit of children. Yeah.
So I could never be a nurse, ever. Oh, my God.
Well, and that just goes against sort of parent code. If your kid pukes, you clean it up. I mean, you don't – if I took my child anywhere and they shit, piss, or puked in somebody else's – I wouldn't be like, oh,
I think they just
looks
took the
like
kid
you
out
guys
and left. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But
even if I've had employees like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll get that. And I'm like, no, you won't. Like, I brought this piece of shit here.
Inside of a
No, but they make messes, right? Like they'll fucking spill 10 meatballs or something.
You've never had a public puking with your kid?
No, just meltdowns, like the odd sort of like I'm melting down and there's, it's over. But never
I publicly puked once when I was a kid.
Sushi, there was one time with sushi.
Oh, and they
but that was kind of my fault. Yeah, I was like, here, try some sushi. And then they were like, "Ah!" And I was like, you guys are fucking retarded. This is great sushi. That's what I was saying. I remember saying, like, you guys don't even know. You guys obviously have no taste because this is the best sushi in Fort Saskatchewan. You won't find better sushi than this.
This is the freshest raw tuna.
You want to find better sushi? Go ahead. I'll meet you in Sherwood Park, you fucking lunatic. But it wasn't even like...
do you call your kids lunatics?
I call them idiots all the time.
Good.
Like that. Yeah, idiots, morons,
That's
stupid.
That's important, though.
Yeah. No, it's it's a term of endearment, like moron, idiot, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so no public pukings, though.
No, I've never had anything like... But I did some shows for nurses, and there was like I emceed this... It's just so fun.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yeah. It actually wasn't bad. Like, they were really nice. And then but it was funny because I found out how vain I am. Because they had this young Aboriginal speaker, and he was really good. Like about reconciliation and whatever. And whatever. We were on Treaty 97 land at the time, I think. I don't know. But he goes up there, and I asked him how to pronounce his stuff because it was all in Cree. So I'm like, how do you pronounce all these things? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm like, what are you, fucking crazy? I don't know how to say this in Cree. And he's like, I want to hear how you say it. What? And I'm like, okay. So then, of course, I fucked it all up. I was like, he's from I don't know. But it makes you sound so racist, right?
Yes, that does make you sound very
then
racist.
He goes on, and he's like, he does something really funny. He said a bunch of shit in Cree that no one understood. Yeah. And then he goes, for those of you who don't speak Cree, what I just said is, who hired the racist MC?
He set you up.
Yeah, total fucking racist setup. Racism setup. See?
Oh my God, that's not cool.
Yeah, he beat me over the head with my own privilege.
Okay, the way you say that, it's funny.
Yeah.
The way you say it.
No,
that
but
way,
it's
that's
but
awesome.
and then this is how I found out I was vain, because he's like, when I first saw him up there, I thought, they're letting one of the white men's elders speak.
Oh my gosh.
Elder. So you called me an elder and a racist.
Yeah, that's like an ageism joke. And
yeah, but it hurt me way more that he called me old. Like, I didn't care that he called me a racist, but when he said old and everybody laughed, I was like, I'm not old. But when he said you're a racist, I was like, that's a pretty good joke.
Good job. You got me there.
I didn't say, I'm not a racist. But the old thing really stung me,
Yeah, the old thing does stung. It's never nice. It's never
No, when you call yourself old, you're like, yeah, but when other people are like, well, you've been around forever, you're like, fuck you, I just got here, you bag of shit.
Son of a bitch.
You're the zygote. You're not even real. You're not even a fucking human. You're a fetus.
You're a fetus doing comedy.
I don't know. But what do you think of the abortion in Alabama stuff?
Wow.
You're pro-life, correct? Wouldn't it be funny if you were pro-life?
Actually, I believe a life starts the minute semen leaves the penis. I don't care where it goes. If you swallow that life, if you blink that life away, but there's life in that cum. That's what I believe.
In that cum.
Stop throwing cum away.
Yeah.
Stop.
There's a baby in there.
Stop throwing millions of children out. We need millions more children. That's what we need.
That's what makes it so hard to be
that are not wanted.
That's what makes it so hard to be pro-life. Is there's so many of us, right? So the argument. Yeah. That these are all miracles. I mean, yeah, okay, but I mean, there's going to be 9 billion of us soon.
Let me tell you, a lot of us are not miracles. A lot of us are plagues upon the earth.
I was thinking about this the other day about my adoption thing. I think the irony of my life is that the only reason I'm alive is because my birth mother was Christian. And then I grew up to hate Christianity. But the only reason I'm alive is because she had reverence for old Jiminy Christmas.
Oh, my God.
If she was secular, I would have been aborted fucking pronto.
Pronto.
Fiesto aborto.
No,
they
and
say.
the world would have been a worse off place. So maybe we should ban abortions.
Maybe.
So that more Sean McCombers can come into
abortions.
the world.
Yeah, no, that's not selling anybody who's pro-choice.
No, that is crazy to think about though. Like, cause as a person that is not adopted, I still believe I was a mistake, but
yeah,
at least I feel like I was kind of wanted.
Yeah, you feel like, once somebody came back with the stick and it was like a big shock, but then a week later everybody was like, I can't wait. Yeah.
We can't wait for.
You don't realize that there was like of consternation and reading different pamphlets.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure.
What happens to your pussy after abortion? Things like that.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, things that you'd Google if
I don't know. What should happen to a penis after abortion? I wonder what should happen
That's an
to a
interesting
penis.
factoid.
That's one thing that I've noticed is a lot of women, like Christina Walkinshaw said, I would love if every woman that ever had an abortion told everyone the name of the man she had the abortion for. Because it's always this stigma against the woman, and no one's ever like, well, God, that guy shouldn't have come inside her. What an asshole. It's always like, well, she's a slut. She let a guy inside of her.
Well, it's funny when guys are like, how come I don't get a say? Like
you don't.
So wait a minute. The girl gets to keep the baby, and then I got to pay for it for 20 years.
I know.
But if she aborts it, I don't get a say. And it's like, yeah, because she's the one who invariably has to take care of this child.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
You're never the villain in this whole thing. You aren't.
No, I mean, I'm sure that there's, obviously
but how many
times are
guys
changing.
are like, yeah, I had an abortion?
I think most of the guys are like, I'll drive you there. Like, I think they're probably.
And then play Brick by Ben Folds 5 the whole way you drive.
What's that? Is that an abortion song?
She's a brick and I'm drowning slowly.
No, I don't know if. Well, maybe it's probably like some.
I'm pretty sure it's about a girl going to get an abortion. Jim, is that what that song is about? Can you look up the meaning
Jim's
of
like,
Brick?
I don't fucking have a clue.
5.
I've never Googled Ben Folds 5.
It's not about an abortion at all. I'm just
no, it's about May Long
it.
Weekend.
Which
it's
was
about going
this
camping
weekend.
with your family.
Did you do anything for May Long Weekend?
No, I didn't do anything. I tried not to.
I used to go to Rugby Fest all the time.
Oh, that was. It's about abortion?
It is. Thank you.
Jeez, Louise.
Yeah, it is.
So
maybe we can do a little clip of it, like right here. There. That's how you find it, right? That's how you find it when you need to find. I'd like a clip of Brick. Don't tell Ben Folds we're using it because we're not able to pay for it. But anyway.
But I guess it's gonna happen, right? That's the one thing because obviously I'm pro-choice, but at the same time, I do feel like when pro-choice people are like, fuck, I can't believe we're still debating this in 2019. They don't take into account, we'll be debating this forever.
They don't take into account all of the fetuses that were born because they weren't born. That are out there being like,
and I always thought it was weird when it was because they made it a woman's rights issue, and I'm like, yeah, and unless the fetus is girls, right?
Yeah.
Like if you abort a girl, that's kind of a wash on the woman's lip. You know what I mean?
What are you
like if you're like, hey, I did this for women, I had an abortion because women, and then
women.
you're like, oh, fetus was a girl, look out. So it's kind of a wash on that one, right? In terms of what you've accomplished for women. Am I just talking crazy, or?
I mean, a little crazy, but.
No, what I meant is it's just like I'm pro-choice, but we'll always be debating this. This is an ethical issue. It's not like an ethical issue. It's not like the other ones. It's not like the other sort of social justice things where I can't believe we're still talking about trans or that will fade over time. But abortion is always going to be this topic. Yeah. It's always, as long as we're here, it'll always be like, should we be doing that? So I think it's weird when people are like, oh my God, we're still talking about this. Like, yeah, get used to it. We'll be talking about it forever. Get used to it, biatch.
We're always going to talk about your womb.
We're going to be talking about your womb till you're in the tomb, bitch. Womb to tomb. Oh no, womb to tomb.
Womb to tomb.
I don't know. So you were in Lethbridge. Did you make a lot of money?
Well, it's Canadian comedy, and I'm not very successful, so probably not.
Was it a door deal or was
it was a per show thing. But I mean, you get a nice hotel room with a jacuzzi. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful drive because Southern Alberta is beautiful. But it wasn't like, this is my thing, as I always want to support places that are trying to bring comedy to their community and stuff like that. But I'm always worried about these people in the smaller that are doing weekly shows, because they're just like, you're on a weekly, you're doing this 4 times, so why don't you like do karaoke and trivia in here on most of the nights, and then do a comedy weekend once a month, just to build, and then move it to 2 times. But everybody just jumps in so fast, and they just want to sell out everything, and it's not possible.
I feel like, we always talk about like, oh my God, you don't make any money in Canadian show business. Like, well, what is the root cause of that? Like, I think sometimes we gloss over the fact that it's not doing well.
Yeah.
Like whenever you go somewhere, and then you go, there's like a shittier hotel, less pay.
Yeah.
Maybe less show. No, you never go
Drink
back.
Tickets instead of.
You never go back somewhere, and they're like, oh, since you left, we've been killing it. Like, we've been selling out every show, and we'd like to offer you $500 more in a nicer hotel. And we always break that down to like these fucking shady ass bookers.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like there's just literally hardly any money in it.
There is hardly any money in it. Yeah.
Like, how many rich bookers do you know? Like,
not even the bars are like, I'm gonna pay you how much to do a show, and then I try to like break it down for them, and like how everyone can make money. Because in my opinion, like, if you go to a bar and you're like, can you please book this comedian, and it's like this much money, let's say it's $1,000, and then we make money off the door. This is the producers, not the comedian. We make money off the door, and then you make all the money off the bar and kitchen. Everybody is gonna make money then. But we have this weird thing where only one person's allowed to make money in comedy. And I've even done shows for like people that booked me, and then they did a terrible job promoting, and then they were like, well, I guess I gotta go to the bank to get your pay, that like it's coming out of my bank account. I'm like, okay, but you told me to come up for these shows and pay me this much money, so like. And
then you try to promote, like, and whenever I do promote, like, okay, fuck, I'll put it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever that I'm doing.
But you can't put it on 8 times a day, which is what some people, like, you got to promote this, like, for 2 weeks, I need a tweet every day. And I'm like, you're not paying me anything to do this. And frankly, I'm not famous. No one's going to give a shit about me.
I usually will have one guy that I went to high school with show up. That's it. It's like, so whenever people are like, oh, you're not sharing this enough, I'm like, that's because I don't want that one guy, that one crazy guy to come to the show. It's not like it's not going to be 20 people. Yeah. And like, to me, a lot of social media is a smoke screen anyway. It's like, I'm gonna post this because then I did my job. Yeah. And then you're gonna share it, and then you did your job. And there's not really going to be anything that happens after that. Yeah. But we did it. Like, we tried our best. We did everything we could.
I don't like.
And then if you don't, they're like, well, maybe if you'd promoted it.
Yeah. Then it's your fault.
No, that wouldn't have helped. That would not have helped.
But if the room is full, they're like, look what I did for you, and it's just like,
that's true.
I don't like that attitude. I don't.
Yeah, you're right. If the room's full, they never say like, wow, we never bring in this many people. This is all on
Good
you.
Good for you, Kathleen. It's always like, look what I did.
Yeah, well, I was at the mall for 9 hours. Like, they always make it seem like they had to fucking. Well, I was in Arby's for 9 days.
Yeah. We're never going to book for anything again, but god damn it, some of these bookers are. But they're mostly just like not professional bookers. They're just booking shit themselves, and I don't know.
They're sort of online robots. Like, and
you can't. There's no way of finding out how much this person paid for the show and how much they're really truly paying you. I'm not saying people are being crooks, but I'm just saying it's so easy to just be like, yeah, well, $300 for you, good job, and then they're walking out with $2,000. Like, you never know.
There's times when, like, I've been paid and then other people lost money, and there's times when they probably made more money and paid me garbage. Like, I mean, maybe I've been ripped. But I don't feel like I've been ripped off. No. I just feel like, is there a lot of money in this anyway? Like, who's making?
There's no money in comedy, everyone. This is what I wanted to, like, because these guys that are running the Lethbridge Club are awesome. They're really nice. They're trying to build a little community, but I'm just like, I feel so bad because it is like hard to have a weekly show in Lethbridge. Like,
Well, it's weird when people say like, "Oh my God, these guys really love comedy." It's like, no shit. Like, who doesn't love laughing? Who doesn't like?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. These guys love comedy. They're in it for comedy. Like, fucking laughter.
They're all in it for the tasty beverages.
But Lethbridge is that's not really. I mean, they have a Yucks monthly there.
Yeah,
that is
they do.
okay at Joe's Garage, but
yeah. No, I mean, it was nice, and I hope that they can continue. But I hope they don't like lose money doing this. That's how I always feel bad, like when Victoria Yucks closed and found out about that poor guy who like put everything into it and it just all fell apart, and we were like
I was there when they were like just closing the casket on that. Like, I think I did a weekend there 2 weeks before their final week. So it was like, hey, good to see you guys. And they're like, yeah, great. And and they were quite nice, but they were like, you could tell they're
like, I think comedy is hitting a bust soon, because I feel like it's boomed so hard for so long, and there's so many people doing comedy. I don't know. It feels like it's a lot easier to get on stages nowadays because there's so many, and everyone just wants to grab onto the funniest people. Like, it took me 7 years to headline the downtown Toronto Yucks, and their comics are like 2-3 years and they're headlining it. It's like you can say that you're a good comedian and people will believe you, but I think we're about to bust. Because there's too many people going to shows where like, well, 2 people were okay, and they just won't like stand up anymore because they're not watching like the best of the best all the time. They're just watching everybody try it. I don't know. I probably sound awful and people are going to hate me for this.
Or they'll be like, like people watch tons of Netflix and they're like, why would I leave and go watch that shit?
Yeah, like I think that it's so funny because comedians have this thing where they think that everybody is obsessed with stand-up, just like them. And then you talk to real people, and they're like, I think I went to a stand-up show once, or there was one at a Christmas party. Yeah. It's never somebody that's like, I go every week. And you meet those people because they're comedy fans, so you meet those, and you think, well, everyone's like this person. Yeah. They're obsessed with comedy. I'm obsessed with comedy. Everyone is. And then you start to realize that only comedians really care about stand-up. Like, everybody else is like, it's just another form of entertainment. And
just only plumbers really care about plumbing until you need a plumber, and then you care about plumbing for a little. And then you're like, contact your plumber friends.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like my friends, like if they're like, hey, fucking, you seen that fucking Larry the Cable Guy, or he's fucking good.
Yeah,
like half of the people that I spend time with socially would, they'd be like, fucking that blue collar, that's a riot, man. Like, I remember I went to work one time with the Mitch Hedberg CD, and they were like, this guy's a fucking idiot, And I was like, this guy's a genius. And they're like, what are you fucking listening to this garbage? Like, this is dumb.
He didn't go ha once.
That was stupid what Mitch Hedberg did.
Oh, my God. His character's terrible.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I just think that that's the thing that I've learned to come to terms with myself, is that not everybody is excited about stand-up comedy the way stand-up comedians are. So once you realize that, then you're just like, well, whatever will be, will be. Like, I can't force my...
Once you accept that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
No.
So what you're doing isn't... Yeah, because there's a tendency to feel like this is pretty special. Like when I see comedians on stage like trying to command attention with their thoughts, I'm just like, gross. Like, you're not an intellectual.
Go into politics and be like that Ukrainian guy
you're
that won.
Not smart.
No,
like, like none of us are really that smart.
How I think.
The smartest fucking comedian in the world is still like, maybe a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're smart, but it's like sometimes comedians act like, oh yeah, no, we could fucking whip together that Human Genome Project. Like if those guys weren't around, we could do it. 10 you get 10 comedians together, we'll whip together a
genome.
Yeah, we'll fucking map.
They just like build like a
We'll
gnome.
map the human genome.
They just build like a garden gnome.
The human.
Here's your genome.
Here's your gnome, G.
Here's your genome.
Oh no, yeah, we did smoke too much marijuana.
But no, I had fun in Lethbridge. It was good for like a one night thing, but yeah, I hope that they're successful. I do.
Huh. Oh yeah. I want to. Because I was gonna how often do you work on new material, or do you like? Because sometimes, like for me, it's hard because I'll go through a period where I don't write anything, and then I'll go through a period where I have like 15 minutes. But then it's hard because I have to go on stage and work on all this new material, and you can just bomb
at a shitty bar gig.
Yeah, and you can just start bombing again.
Yeah.
Like last night I did a show where I did like a bunch of new stuff, and it was like I was an open micer again.
Yeah.
Like I was fumbling over some of the words, and the jokes were like hitting really bad, like not even. And then I would try to like get myself out of it with some like, oh, this isn't going very well, or what. And they weren't having that. They were like, no, this isn't good.
I don't know. I don't write as much as I should. I think I'm at that where I'm just like, I don't want to go to all the open mics at night all the time, which I should be doing. But I also, you can't work on stuff at a shitty bar gig where no one is listening to you. And then you get there and you're like, well, I'm just going to plow through this.
Or you go to the comic strip and like, 'cause that's, I guess sometimes I feel bad because like I'll be headlining the comic strip and I'm treating it like my open mic. Like I'm doing a bunch of new stuff and I don't really.
I mean, but like, I think that you're a lot harsher on yourself than I doubt that you bombed. I highly doubt that you bombed.
No, last night I did. Like usually I don't because I'll do a couple new things and then I'll just be like, fuck it. And then just, do enough of the older stuff to get through the show and make fun of myself or whatever. But last night I was like, no, like I'm actually going to do all of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I went so bad.
I wish
because I was like, okay, I'll do the other one. And then I had some shit written out and I was already doing bad. I'd already had 7 minutes of very little laughs.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of other jokes where I'm like, these are brand new. I'm doing them.
I'm doing it.
And then I did it. And then by the time I was done those, they were like, this sucks.
This is awful. I've talked to this about other like people that have been doing comedy for a while. It's like, okay, this is the problem is like you want to write all this new material, but in order to test new material, you have to go to like the open mics and stuff, or like the mics, and like where all these new comics are there judging. Not like they all judge, but you feel like they're, and you're like, oh, I can't bomb in front of like, and then they just see you bomb, but you're just trying to write new jokes. It's like a weird cycle that you, because like in New York and LA, those and Toronto, I guess it's like pros can go out a lot more. It feels like, but. Maybe they can here. I'm just being lazy.
Yeah,
I'm just being lazy.
I mean, you're right. Your ego does get involved where you're like, well, now I'm going to do all this new stuff in front of a bunch of people that are going to be like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
somebody said that she was good once.
Ooh, she's brutal. I buried her.
I feel like that every time I get on stage these days. I feel like if there's going to be someone like, oh, I've seen her before and she was great, but now she's awful.
The thing that I often think about though is I'm like, well, where has doing yourself all the time gotten you?
Nowhere.
So it's like, okay, well, I don't get anywhere from like, okay, well because that's what usually happens to me is I'll be on a show, and then the MC goes up and does really well. And then, like, the middle or co-feature or whatever will go up and have a really strong set. And then I'm like, well, okay, I better not do the old stuff because I got to. And then it's like, well, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, so your ego does get involved where you're like, well, everybody else is doing well. I don't want to go up there and
bomb.
And do less well.
Well, maybe we'll just tell people, listen, I'm going to bomb tonight, so don't expect much from me.
Yeah, well,
and then they'll be like, if you actually do well, they'll be like, oh, this person's just fucking very insecure, but they were great.
I thought you were pretty good.
I thought you were great.
Oh, pretty good. Like last night I had to run away from, because the thing is I don't know what it is about me, but people will always say like one extra insulting thing to me than they would to other people.
Yeah. I would like to videotape what somebody says to you in a day, because I think that your brain converts it to hate.
Well, but I get insulted a lot.
Yeah, but how insulted? Like, what's an insult?
Well, like, okay, like last night, I couldn't just bomb and just have it be like, okay, bye.
You had
to
bomb and sit through, take it in.
Yeah, I was like, so what happened is I was bombing, and then I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, and then there was a guy in the crowd that started laughing, and I'm like, what? And then he's like, oh, it's just making my night watching you be in so much pain up there.
He said that?
Yeah.
I fucking hate people.
And it's like, why? But nobody would say that to you, I don't think, right?
Like I get these. But I never bomb.
That's true.
I'm kidding, because I'm scared to try new stuff.
But that's an example. That's just an example of like the sort of things I hear on a pretty routine basis, right?
Somebody called me fat from the side once at the comic strip. Some guy was like, "Oh, she's fucking gross and fat." And David, the manager at the time, heard him, and he's like, "Get the fuck out!" He kicked him out of there.
Fucking right on for David.
Yeah, I love passionate management. That like that.
When they're gay.
No, always. I love David.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was so excited when he kicked them out, because it's like honestly, like I always feel like you get on stage and it's all the cool kids that are just watching you, judging you. Even though most of the people out there are losers. Kidding. We are all great special stars. But yeah, it does feel like anytime there's like attractive males in the audience, I was like for you, but I'm always like, oh God, this is gonna be awful. They're just gonna hate me because I'm not like a beauty queen.
Oh yeah, when there's young hot women in the audience, most like male comedians over 30 are like, oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you need to know that's the same for women over 30, like the exact same.
Yeah, because you just know that every time men have talked to these women, they were trying to like have sex with them.
Yeah.
So they hear you speaking some language of not trying to have sex with them, and they're like, ew, like everything's disgusting because they've never heard a man speak that way. They're like, you remind me of my uncle.
Have you ever had like a really creepy proposal after a show, like from like a creepy old lady that's like, well, young boy?
Well.
And you did it. You were just like, oh, thank you for calling me young.
I don't even think I have.
Never once?
No, because I don't. I
feel like a lot of women get comedy goggles on their eyes as soon as they see a man go on stage. Because women are attracted to a sense of humor. It's a fact. Like, that's something that women say I like. And I've seen plenty of hilarious, average to below average looking dudes get laid every weekend.
What you would see a lot more is very attractive male comedians who are or are not funny getting laid a lot more than they normally would.
Yeah, I guess so. But I've seen some like guys where I'm just like, good for you. And I'm sure
that
that people
but
have said
those
that
are
about
probably
me.
guys that were like they knew how to push it before comedy.
Yeah.
Like they were like batting average guys before they ever did comedy.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just
they were
always
like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Like they were going into ladies and being like, hey, ladies. And now they have comedy, so they've got a little bit of extra
leverage.
Juice. But
yeah.
But yeah, they probably were getting laid before. If you're a guy who like wasn't getting laid before comedy's probably not going to get you laid that much.
What will get you laid more? Money?
I don't know. Being a good person who can fix a fence. No, I don't know.
That's like the first thing I look for.
Is a guy.
Hey, are you a good person? Can you fix a fence?
Can you fix a decent fence? But because I guess you're right. Like men aren't as into, like if you're a man at a comedy show, you're not like, I want to have sex with that girl because she's so funny.
No, they never. I want to have sex with her because she talks about squirting and blowjobs and shit. That's why they want to talk to you after this. So not because they're impressed by your intellect. Well, that's always the funniest. Oh, you're so smart up there. I'm like, thank you. I'm such an idiot when I'm not up there.
Dude, so how many proposals have you got from men that you've been like, no thanks?
Well, I'm not like
Does it happen quite a bit?
Every time. Not anymore because I'm old, but like, yeah, you get like guys sometimes, but not as much as I would see girls. And like, I've always found a lot of men are threatened dating a female comic because they're supposed to be the funny one in the relationship. I had a guy dump me because his friends thought I was funnier than him.
Yeah, that's weak.
But it was like we'd gone on a few dates. It wasn't like a serious thing, but he's like.
But he told you? Why would he even fucking tell you that?
Because he was an idiot.
He must have been stupid.
One of my favorite things is dumb guys, but usually they were bouncers. But anyway, so but I don't even. I lost my train of thought.
Well, I was gonna talk about. You're talking about dumb guys. Like I was thinking about that. Like I can't remember who I was talking about this with. But when somebody decides to do stand up, you don't find out how funny they are. You find out how funny their friends are.
Oh, because like you can see.
Because,
my friends loved this.
Yeah, because every person who gets on stage.
Had a
group of friends that told them, you're the fucking funniest, so you should do comedy, right?
Yeah.
So everybody who gets on that stage is embedded with this sort of sense of like, I'm pretty fucking funny, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Why? Because I grew up being told I was this good. Most of them don't know this, but their friends were humorless.
Yeah.
So their friends were like, you're the fucking funniest. It's like, you're the funniest man in a humorless crew. Mm-hmm. And now you're doing stand-up, and you're going to find out very quickly that you're fucking dog shit.
But everyone is dog shit at the beginning. But the ones who push through and are delusional enough are the ones that stay.
Yeah, but I mean, like if, you probably came from like a group of funny friends. So you couldn't just rest on your like, I'm Kathleen and I'm funny. Like you had other funny friends. So you had to like step up your funny game to be the funniest girl.
Yeah, and I was fat. So I had to be funny. Or I would be nobody.
Oh, it's a defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism. Oh, you're attracted to my defense mechanism?
Why do you want to fuck my defense mechanism? No, that's wrong. And I was fat. Yeah.
No, but that was like that is why I'm funny. That is a huge part of why I'm funny, because guys wouldn't talk to me unless I was fun and cool and could chug vodka. Like, it was basically a guy girl.
Yeah, you had to be like a guy.
Yeah. But and then your girlfriends would laugh at pretty and laugh at you. And you're just like, wow.
Look at bitch. I know you don't think so, but I'm sucking dicks over here. They're like, the girls aren't threatened by you. They're like, she's not fucking anybody.
She's not going to fuck the guys we fuck, so don't worry about it.
She's not in that class.
She'll be the one that will fuck the wingman. I am the wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
oh,
true.
That's too bad. But I think it's...
No, but it made me who I am today. That's the thing. That everyone doesn't want to have bad things happen to them or be treated differently, or like, oh, you can't talk to me that way. Well, you're never going to learn how to have a personality. Like, if you can't have a bad day or have something bad happen to you and be like, why the fuck did that happen to me? I didn't do anything. But then you have to figure out how to be okay with that. Like, you just have to.
But you were probably funny before you were fat.
I mean, I was always a funny child, and I didn't get fat till I was like 7. No.
Till I was 7. I hung in there until after mandatory gym. My metabolism really began to slow by the age of 9.
Oh, no, as soon as I hit puberty. Anyway.
Oh, no.
What? No, it's like, you can't be like upset about that stuff. Like, if I had been like some hot chick, I'd probably be at home with kids right now.
Yeah.
And married and rich to somebody, but not exactly that happy.
That's interesting. Yeah. You think about how different your life would be. Like, when I think about like my male friends that are in my life, they always seem like they're caught in like a fucking death trap, because they're having like sex all the time with different girls, and so they've got to keep those balls in the air. And
you got to suck in that tummy the whole time.
And it seems very stressful, the lives that they're leading. Like, so yeah, of course they do some fun stuff, but I mean, all the extracurricular shit, I'm like, I don't want that shit. Where you got like 8 girls texting you like, oh shit, I told her I was gonna meet her at Red Robin. Fuck. God damn it.
Never meet a guy at Red Robin. I can tell you that.
Really?
No. I'm trying to think if I ever met a guy at a Red Robin's. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
These are good. This is a venti iced chai. You know, I don't drink well.
Iced chai?
I'd like to drink all of my calories.
I don't drink well.
I don't drink well.
You just
I've
drink
had like
sugar.
fucking 6 olives and then just straight sugar drinks.
I'm on the salt and sugar diet.
Yeah, I'm just doing olives and frappuccinos.
Like this.
Yeah, this is a smoothie.
Can you take 2 selfies like within a week of each other and do a before and after and say, guys, I've lost some weight. Notice a difference? And then it's not like, and then everyone's like, looking good.
Oh, you
Sean.
look great. Like, it's actually from a week ago. After and before.
Oh my God, I love it. That'd be
Sean's
funny.
after and before photos. Yeah, because I'm drinking like a Slurpee every day now for the last 3 weeks. I've been in a real big Slurpee bender. Not good. And I get the large ones too.
So many Slurpee. What's your favorite Slurpee flavor?
Coke.
You are a Coke person.
Although, I'm
not a cola Slurpee life.
Really?
Lover. No, it's got to be like a grape or a cream soda or an orange.
I don't mind a peach fuzz. I don't mind a grape.
My favorite of the dark sodas.
Dr. Peppers are good, yeah. Anything but root beer. I always thought root beer was gross.
Because root beer has to be fizzy.
Right. Yeah, it does have to have
I've had like root beer flavored candies and I'm like, this is disgusting. But then you drink root beer and you're like, oh, it's because of the bubbles. It enhances the root.
So it enhances the root. Holy shit. Well.
Well, look at
We're never going to get rich like this. Put this fucker straight on Pantheon or whatever the fuck.
Please donate to our Pantheon so we can get new pants.
Did you watch
I watched it.
Yeah,
I'm a pretty good fan. But I'm not like, this isn't the end. It was okay. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God. There was one oh my God thing for me personally, but like.
What was the oh my God thing?
Did you watch it?
No.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, you can tell me.
When Jon Snow stabs Daenerys.
Why does he do that?
Because she turned into Hitler.
Why did she do that?
Because
did she still have
they
the dragons?
killed her best friend.
They killed her dragons?
No, they killed 2 of the dragons.
Oh, but she still had 1 dragon left.
Yeah,
right?
and then the dragon comes up after he kills Daenerys, and then you think, well, I thought, oh God, the dragon is gonna
kill
eat
Jon
Snow.
Yeah.
And then he's going to breathe fire, and then he turns and he breathes onto the Iron Throne and melts the Iron Throne. So there's no more Iron Throne.
Oh no.
And then the wheelchair boy became a king, and Sansa became a queen, and Arya went to America to discover it.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking
And basically,
perfect?
and then Jon Snow just goes back to the Night Watch. So it's like, it's just all, they went back to exactly where it was in the beginning of all this.
To do.
All these years of battles and shit,
Oh,
you just had to go right back there. I mean, Cersei died, and that's good. And then, but yeah, it was an interesting, whatever. I cannot stand people that are so attached to a fucking TV show that they're willing to sign a petition to ask that they remake this season because we didn't like it. Like, I'm sorry.
Remake this season.
This is the everyone gets first place generation right now. Here they are writing petitions because they didn't like how things ended.
And it's weird too because
it's ridiculous.
It's almost like people feel like ideas are this endless resource. Like, look at like Chris Rock's first comedy special versus Chris Rock's 7th comedy special. Like,
the first is going to be the best.
Yeah, the first season you start to run out of ideas.
20 years of comedy working at. That's why Dane Cook blew up, because his first album was 20 years of his best jokes, and then
start to run out of shit. So like they basically it's like, what, this season sucks. It's like,
when people
they ran out of shit. They ran out of ideas.
And they're like, oh, the actors wanted it to keep going. The actors were like, I don't know if I want to be a goblin for 10 years. Like, but Game of Goblins. Game of Goblins. Let's do a parody movie called
The Goblin Throne. Sitting on the bronze.
Sitting on the bronze toilet.
Oh,
a goblin.
Donald Trump's little
Wasn't that like a horror movie? Oh, no, Ghoulies. That was the ones that came out of the toilets. Ghoulies.
Was it Ghoulies? What about Goonies?
You would know. Well, Goonies, yeah. But Ghoulies was the one. I saw it every time I went to the video store. It was just like this green monster standing outside of a toilet. And I would never watch it. I was always watch Ghoulies.
Did you ever rent pornography from a movie store?
Not from like a Blockbuster or a Video Now.
But did you ever go through like the saloon doors, old school style?
Yeah, the saloon doors at Source Adult Video that is now a daycare. I love Edmonton. It used to be a porn store, but now it's a daycare.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I would go and rent DVDs once in a while. Yeah, you had to do shit like that. You can't just like. Anyway, I'm just gonna.
People had to know you were a freak in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you had to walk in there and walk out, and then you'd get like this looks fine.
I guess I'll just get this gangbanging cum swallowers 27.
I've been asked to get this.
It's the same as your joke about when you like eat so much, you order so much McDonald's, you order 2 Diet Cokes. Or what?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because everybody
you just want one,
does that.
Oh no, fuck, I do that a lot.
You're gonna need 2 Diet Cokes.
And I look at my phone now, where I'm like, okay, I need 2 Big Macs, and like I pretend that I'm like ordering, like my wife and children. Boy, oh boy.
Oh my God.
I'll get 3 Big Macs, 2 filet of fish, just order, and they're like, okay, and then because the joke was like, yeah, the guy looks at me and goes, and just the 1 drink. And I'm like, yeah, 1 should do it. Just the 1 beverage.
The wife and kids don't drink.
Yeah, they're all diabetic. So
Adam sort of did this to me he did do it to me. I picked him up once when he was out drinking with his friends, and he's like, can I go to McDonald's? Which is what I do too. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then we go, and he's like, I want you to order me 4 cheeseburgers, dressed like Big Macs.
Dressed like Big Macs.
And 2 Big Macs, dressed like cheeseburgers. And I was
that's actually a fucking good idea.
The cheeseburgers dressed as Big Macs are delicious. But
like with lettuce?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the special sauce
but the Big Mac dressed as a cheeseburger, not so good.
Oh, I've never tried that one. We could do that one day.
Yeah, it's just like...
We'll bring them next week.
We should do that.
Let's do some fooding here.
Yeah, we should
Let's become
foodies.
Fast
foodies.
Suddenly it's called Dead Baby Foodies.
No, but we could do a thing called fast foodies.
Yeah.
We bring in some like shitty, like fucking Arby's burger.
Why don't we like switch off and on switch weeks, and then you pick your shitty one week, and I'll pick.
And then we'll just change the shit out of it until we come up with the perfect fast food menu item.
I love how fat Sean and I are. I'm fat too. Are both like, let's eat fast
You know what
food
we
somehow.
should make this podcast into? We're eating.
We're eating.
It's not enough that we talk the whole time about how fat we are.
We're
We
eating.
should probably eat during it. I just drank fucking 7,300 calories. Well. And you know what? I probably had 10 McGriddles in the last month.
Yeah.
I've really gotten on a McGriddle kick.
I don't like them. I don't like sweet and savory.
Really?
No, I'm like a savory lady.
Okay.
Sometimes sweet. But I finished so Adam
Oh, okay, yeah.
orders all this stuff, and so I order it with the place, and it's too much. He also ordered other stuff, and so I'm like, it's like $40 worth of McDonald's. I'm like, I don't know how anybody orders $40 worth of McDonald's. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, I gotta go pee, and he jumps out of the car, and I'm like in
the drive-thru?
Drive-thru by myself, and I pull up with a $40 McDonald's order by myself, like some horribly fat, like that fat lady from Oprah that would eat in her car. That's what I felt like. And then I looked over, and Adam was in line getting nuggets. So I loved him. Right? Like he's going to get me nuggets.
What a sweet guy.
But that was so embarrassing. Like anytime I order something that I feel is even a little gross, I'm like, just give me the bag and don't look at me.
Remember that comedian? Well, the comedian who shall remain nameless. Remember when there was this comedian in Edmonton. He was in a drive-through lane.
I'm gonna guess.
McDonald's.
No, I already know, and I'm not gonna guess.
He was in a McDonald's drive-through, and he gets halfway up and then has to take a piss. So he gets out of his vehicle, hammered, trashed.
Yeah.
Takes a piss next to the fence, goes to get back in, vehicle locked.
Oh, yeah.
Driver side vehicle locked, passenger side, every vehicle. And, people behind him honking. Like,
I'm not laughing because he was drinking and driving. That's awful.
Yeah, like he's car number 4 in a lineup of 15. People are honking, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So he grabbed a brick from next to the McDonald's and smashed his window to get back in to get his food. And then as he's getting his bag, it's like through a shattered glass. He's sitting on a bunch of glass. He's hammered.
Oh my God.
Just all that for a fucking McGriddle or two.
Oh my God, that's insane.
You know who my heart goes out to in the fast food industry is whoever has to change the drive-through garbage.
Yeah, because it's always just people just keep. Well, fuck them for not changing it. I'm shoving in too. That's the total mentality.
And it's fucking just filled with babies and coffee
and diapers.
Like, it's just disgusting. Like think about how many, because it's not just McDonald's garbage. It's everything from your Ram 1500. Like every single fucking oil filter.
This one's got a bucket. Kids, get the garbage.
There's 19 oil filters in this one. Like people just come through and empty their life into that fucking thing and then cram the shit out of it. And then some poor 16-year-old asshole has to try to lift it out.
Oh.
It weighs 800 pounds. Half of it's root beer. Weighed down by Filet-O-Fish buns. And he has to suck that motherfucker out of there and take it to the trash compactor.
That poor person.
They're getting rid of them. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, not very many have.
No.
That's why I'm saying, like you guys were going to go to this McDonald's. It's got a garbage. We got to clean out the truck.
You've done that before?
No, I'm saying like I can picture.
Oh, I would.
Well, I have. I've never cleaned out my car, but I have put every single McDonald's drink.
I'm usually courteous enough to be like, is there anybody?
Oh, yeah,
if
that's
there's nobody behind me, I'll fucking clean it all out. I'll vacuum.
That's why I go to McDonald's at 3 a.m. in the morning.
I'll vacuum and throw the filter bag in there, and then if they park me, then now you're fucking, you're fucked.
I fucking hate what is with this new McDonald's? I know you're watching. What the fuck is up with this parking all your drive-through people?
Not all. You can't do that. No.
They do it all the time. We get parked all the time.
That's not fair.
Because it's discrimination because I like breakfast sandwiches.
No, I mean I've said that before. I think I've even said it on this podcast.
I think we did talk about this before.
You don't leave your spot. You don't park it. You fucking get me my food, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be strong, Kathleen.
I can't do it.
Stay at that second window and don't even move. You know what? Stay at the first window.
I'm not moving until I know my food is going to just
I am not paying you. Like when they're like $16.85 and they put the machine out, go, yeah, I'll put it in there when we see the fucking.
We see the bag.
Why don't you know what I want you
robbery.
to do? Yeah, get the people at the second window to put my bag outside so I can see it.
I don't want any eye contact.
Put my food where I can see it. And then as soon as I see the second window people with the bag of my shit out the window, then I will tap and then I go. You're not getting my fucking money. until I see my fucking filet of fish.
And you are not barking me.
You ever had a filet of fish?
Sorry. I had a bite of one recently. I hadn't forever. And, I mean, they're okay.
I don't know why they're still there.
They're fish.
We used to, this is the first joke that I ever wrote. It's really funny. It's not. We had these, remember the McRib burgers?
Okay.
That even had like the grill marks on them? Yeah. And they were Barney burgers. So it was like Barney from the Flintstones. And they had these, and they were gross.
Oh, yeah.
And then I used to call them Betty Pounders. And that was like the first joke that like when I was in like fucking when I was 13 years old.
Oh my god, that's adorable! I
like
thought you
how many Betty Pounders? No, my first stand-up joke was worse than that.
What was your first stand-up joke?
My first stand-up joke, I didn't even know it was hacky until somebody told me like, "Hey, you're pretty funny, but you got to lose those 2 jokes. Those are pretty hack." And I was like, "Pardon me, young man." Like I was like so defensive about it.
Yeah.
But looking back, yeah, they were like, what were they? One was like, you probably remember these. It was like they opened a Disneyland in China, but they had to shut it down, not due to lack of interest. Just nobody there was tall enough to go on the rides.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So racist, but fun.
But fun. You got to admit that's fun.
And then the other one was about a condom. I bought these ribbed condoms, but I turned them inside out. Ribbed for her pleasure, not if I'm fucking paying for them.
Misogynistic.
That was the misogynistic. Yeah. So misogyny and racism. That's how I started.
That's how he started.
And it's kind of how I'm going out.
That's how we got. That's how he got his start, and that's how it's all gonna end. It was a good stretch.
It was a piece of rope for a while, and now it's a noose.
Oh my god!
For a while, it was a whipping rope.
It was a whipping rope.
What do we got here? Holy shit! We got the Western.
Yeah, I decided to get a $2 one.
Because we've never won anything, have we?
Nothing. I'm not
We've
on
done this 4
yet.
times, and none of this has ever paid off.
Maybe this is the 5th one, even. I don't know. Anyway, this Western, you can win up to $35,000, and I think you can win a vehicle. This ticket can win more than one prize, but cannot win more than once in each play area.
Fucking bastards.
So what? That's a really shitty thing for them to do then. You won twice in a play area, and you think you won, and then they're
sorry,
like, oh, sorry, did you read the back?
Oh, sorry, did you kiss the barcode?
I've never read the back of a lottery ticket before. Tic-tac-toe. That's what this game is. Play areas.
Tic-tac-toe.
Scratch each of the 2 tic-tac-toe play areas. If any one play area, you uncover 3 X's or 3 O's in any straight, horizontal, diagonal, or vertical line, you win the prize in the prize box of the play area. If the prize that you win is a free ticket, you win a free $2 scratch ticket, you fucking idiot.
All right. Well, let's see what happens. Do you have like a nickel or a quarter or a tampon?
Yeah, let me get my golden tampon out. Let's see. I'll use my stripper nails.
Ooh. Oh, so far we've got an X, an O, and an X.
Yeah, so far it's not good. And this is terrible.
And an O and an X and an O.
So if an X is here or here, we're golden. And no.
We're not golden.
We're dead. And we did not win.
And the prize.
$20.
Oh.
If I win like under $20 or under, I'll just go buy more tickets for the next time. Okay.
And then if we win nothing, then we'll never do this again.
Okay, it's still not looking good. No, we are not looking good at all.
How come they never let us win?
I don't know. They're assholes. We could have won.
Oh, that would have been a biggie. That would have been a biggie.
Fuck me. I just want to win $5,000. Sharing
Is
the
that
prize.
too much to ask?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What was the?
Talking about that. We might win a car.
Oh my God, we won a car.
We might win a car. We did not
win a car. You know what's funny is like
this is good radio.
Nobody who listens to this, even when we were like, even when I said, "Oh, we could win a car," nobody thought maybe they've won a car. They just were like, "No, they didn't."
They're not gonna win. Why are they doing this?
It's a $2 ticket. You don't want a car out of a $2 ticket. What did we get?
Nothing.
Absolutely
Except
fuck
for
all.
Wax all over Jim's beautiful floors.
Jesus Christ!
We gotta
Why do
buy
we
him a
even do this
Roomba.
podcast? We can't even win any fucking money.
Yeah, this is crazy. So we can't
well.
win money. So join our Patreon that isn't set up yet, but it might be set up by the time this podcast comes out. You never know.
You never know. All right, well, Kathleen, we did it.
We did.
What do you have going on tonight? Any shows? Anything? Any shows you want to plug coming up?
No, I don't plug shows.
You don't?
I don't really do it that much anymore. I'll say one on Twitter, but I don't
Yeah.
mention too many.
Like, do you have shows this weekend?
No, not this weekend. Next weekend, I'm going to Halifax.
For the festival?
No.
Okay.
No, the Halifax Festival once sent me an email that said, "We love Kathleen." Well, it was to my management. And it said, "We love Kathleen, but she's too dirty for the CBC." And then they typed out, "Aww." And I was like, fuck those fucking fucks. What a gross email to get. Worst email of my life.
Well,
Can't ever let go or forget about
What's in Halifax?
it. Yuck yucks.
Oh, the yuck yucks. Okay,
The yuck
good.
yucks.
Well, I hope you have fun out there.
I do too. I mean, we're going to see each other before probably I go.
Will we?
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
if we
That's right.
continue doing this podcast, which we never know what's going to happen. We haven't even released one yet.
But what's sadder, continuing to do a shitty podcast or shutting it down because it's shitty? I think shutting it down.
Because who knows? Somebody might think this is good. It's so
there could be
shitty.
some person out there that is in a bathtub ready to kill themselves, and then they hear our podcast, and then they do it immediately.
Yeah.
They end their life right then and there.
Yeah.
We gave them that fucking courage.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, we'll see you. We're switching to Tuesdays. Not that anybody in the world
Nobody
needs to know
knows
that.
what we do. We
Nobody
haven't even
needs to
released
know
an episode yet.
This is episode 12.
I think we're releasing right away.
You know what's funny is all I'm going to get is like Facebook messages from people I've never heard of before that are like, "Why don't you fucking leave Kathleen alone?"
You're never mean to me.
No, I know, but they're going to pretend I was. And you know, like
No.
every episode there's a little nugget in there that they could be like, "I hate you," right? Like
No
today it
one's
was
gonna
like
hate you.
fetuses. I talked about killing girl fetuses. That could blow up a little bit.
Well, I mean, you'll piss off some women, but we piss off easily. And we forgive pretty easily, too. But
Yeah.
we don't forget.
Okay. Well, on that note, I think we're doing it.
We're
Thanks,
doing it.
Kathleen.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.